Well, I'm here with Dr. Allen today. He is the owner of WOW Chiropractic right here in good old Eugene, Oregon. So how are you doing today, Doc?
Good.
Good. Well, I have a few questions for you. It has to do with your experiences so far with Doll Integration Marketing.
Okay.
Right? And the first one is, before you started working with Doll Integration Marketing, what did your advertising results look like?
Nothing.
Okay, elaborate.
Well, they were pretty dismal. I was a new business, and so I just had tons of people coming in from Yellow Pages, from Dex, from a thing called Zoom Marketing, Eugene
You mean people
retailers.
Like advertisers?
Yeah, advertisers who were just going to turn my business around to incredible heights. So, I spent a good fair amount of money believing in these people, and I can honestly say I don't think we got after all that money I spent, I don't think we got a single customer from anything that these other businesses suggested. Working with you, the results were just so fast and a lot bigger. I mean, I was just going to be happy with getting my initial investment back. So at least I know, well, at least something's working, but with you, it just exploded.
Awesome.
So far, it's been a very sweet experience.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to whatever our next step is.
All right, perfect.
Which I guess is this.
So, and let's kind of elaborate too, because I think this will kind of help people kind of dial in what we're talking about. But give us an example. What kinds of marketing were you doing? Like, how would you approach your marketing before we met?
I think it was Dex. We tried 2 different websites that supposedly had all the cutting edge SEO, paying them gobs of money a month. Did something called Zoom Media, which was kind of like this thing at the YMCA, which was a total bust. Did some television, series of television commercials that we got 0. I did that for 8 months. So it's kind of disheartening because you're paying these people money. They want their money even though they're not getting results.
Right.
Whereas with you, the first time the practice exploded, and so now I got money to move to the next step that we're talking about, kind of the back end of things. So it's like, wow. So it's kind of like the money invested with you is just getting, you got the figures, how many multiple times over.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So then now there's money to put back to get to the next step, to get even bigger. So it's not like these other people, they want you to put all the money in. They have no investment because they're on the road, and you'll see them in a year when they want you to buy more stuff from them.
Right.
So I think, and I have never heard what you do anywhere else. I'm sure it's out there, but, if you keep doing the same thing over and over.
Right. And I would say that what we do at Doll Integration Marketing is really the opposite of what, most advertisers would tell you to do. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Because we start with the conversion rate. We start with, how many leads are we going to get from this? How many customers can we potentially get from this? We start with actual results.
Right.
And then we go from there versus, let's have a nice logo, or let's have a nice
right.
Nice
We did that. We got to have
whatever.
business cards. You got to have a good logo. Well, you spend $500 on a logo. I don't know who buy. If you think about it, who buys a product or service based on a logo? Maybe Nike.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
I mean, at the end of the day, we want to get results.
Right.
I mean, that's really what we're after.
Yeah.
So then also, okay. So at this point, before we met, what were your beliefs about marketers and advertisers overall? Like, what was your kind of your basic belief once you had these bad experiences with all these different marketing consultants, advertisers, and all that?
Oh, what my opinion of them was?
That's kind of what kind of what you felt towards a lot of the, I guess, a lot of the stuff that, you know, it's out there, because you get bombarded. I mean, as a chiropractor, I mean, there's so many marketers out there trying to take your business, right?
Right.
And so what was kind of your belief kind of, you know, at this juncture before we met on just marketing in general and all these things that were being
That it
done?
was a pretty slimy business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did you feel that people talk a good game, but they don't really
Oh, yeah.
back it up?
Right.
Okay.
And being a doctor concerned about health, I really wasn't looking at the business side of things.
Right.
So it was an expensive lesson,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And kind of giving up on marketing. You know, there has to be a better way, and lo and behold, you showed up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that people that are listening to this, they really heard what you just said. You know, you were kind of almost like inroads almost. You're kind of
Yeah,
giving up
exactly.
in a sense.
Well, why keep spending all this money on stuff that's not going to get you results, but that's what everybody supposedly needs to do?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying there might not be other businesses that haven't had success in these other areas, because obviously it must, because they're somehow getting their
Yeah,
customer
sure. Yeah.
base in. But for me, and maybe it's just unique to chiropractors, we have a hard time
Right.
because we're up against a huge giant.
Well, I think if it was easy, then there wouldn't be a 90% fail rate with businesses.
Right. Oh,
I
that's
mean, the
true,
reality.
right.
Yeah, that's the reality. Is most businesses don't know how to market, they don't know how to sell,
Right.
and that's a big hindrance. And
Yeah.
then the information that they receive isn't always the best either.
No.
So it's kind of like there's
And
so
it
many things that
doesn't,
are working.
and if you, now that I've worked with you, I see that most advertising doesn't motivate people to like take an action step.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas with you, all of a sudden people are inspired to
Yeah.
take advantage of what we have to offer.
Absolutely.
It's not like we changed anything we've been doing from that point of view, but it's just a light bulb's kind of gone off in people.
Right. It was just a matter of
And when we-
organizing your business into a funnel,
Right.
so to speak, and then making sure that the offers within that funnel were irresistible. I mean, that's really what we did.
Exactly.
Right. There are so many information products out there, and I'm all about educating my customers. As
Right.
you know, I like to spend time with you, educate you and things.
Right.
But in the day, I mean, the main thing is you get results, and you see those results
Right.
fast.
Right.
And that's what we,
And my results are the phones ringing, people booking appointments.
awesome. And so that's
And
something
that's
else
what's
that-
so cool about,
Yeah.
you were telling me about you've landed a large client. So even a big business still has concerns about getting customers into their business, that they're excited buyers, I guess.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if that's a marketing term or not, excited buyer. But you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's cool. It's just the process works for small guys like me or your big client that you got now.
Absolutely. I mean,
gonna
every
be the
business
same.
needs a marketing funnel, and even if they do
Yeah.
have a marketing funnel, we can optimize it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it's really important. Dr. Allen, what would you say the difference between good advertising and bad advertising is, now that you've had kind of this
Okay.
experience?
Bad advertising is people come in, promise you the moon, they go out the door along with your money. Good advertising is it doesn't cost very much and you get unbelievable results
There we go.
that shock you. It's like, holy bleep.
Awesome.
Okay?
That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so some people don't believe it's possible to have consistent, reliable, predictable flow of clients, patients, customers, month after month. How would you address your peers that might be thinking this way?
I've gotten so much more business that the paperwork end is starting to stack up. So what are we, Sunday, and now after I leave here, I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon trying to shrink
Shrink
the
the paperwork
paperwork down, just because of all the business have been,
So, and that's a good problem to have, that's right? I mean,
it
that's-
is, but
that's
now I'm
very-
going to have to hire somebody else and train them to keep up with all the
With all the
back end
paperwork.
stuff, and then
Yeah.
be able to have answers for you when you call in.
I need those numbers.
You
I
need
those
the numbers, right. I just don't have time to get them right now.
Awesome. So what did you have to do to implement all these strategies? the time investment on your end, being a busy doctor.
Right.
I mean, you have to deal with patients.
Yes.
You don't have a lot of time to be trying to mess around with the marketing.
It's not even, yeah, you don't even want it part of your consciousness.
Exactly.
But it
You wanna
becomes a
focus on-
necessary evil.
Right.
And that's why I'm thinking you can really help the chiropractic profession and take it to the next level.
Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, not just chiropractors.
Well, no, I know, but
Right,
I'm just,
but,
that's where I see it going.
You're getting
The
there.
results are like, okay, well, I don't really need to understand. So I'm tracking where I should be.
Yeah, you're tracking, exactly.
Okay.
So last question. I mean, I guess that was a prequel question, right?
Okay.
Not quite last, but this is the last one. So would you recommend people to schedule a strategy session?
Yes, makes sense.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it's new and different.
There we go. Awesome.
That nobody else out there is doing it. At least in Eugene, I haven't seen it.
All right, Dr. Allen, so how about we end with you just telling people where they might be able to find you? You're, Lawrence, off of Lawrence Street here in
Yep,
Eugene?
743 Lawrence Street.
Okay, awesome. And I will say too that Dr. Allen is my chiropractor as well. So he's done some miracles for me on my back and things like that. And just like Dr. Allen, please become one of my success stories.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks again, Doctor.
All right.